away, we're gonna seize the day. We got some crazy games to play today.
Game Away!
Hey gamers, Nick from Game Away here to bring you my review of Mario Tennis Aces, the latest entry in the sports line of Mario games. Will this title lose the match point? Or is this the ace up their sleeve? Let's find out. Mario is a great athlete who's touched almost all sports. Football, golf, kart, or the Olympic Games, you name it. But today, he's back on the tennis court with a lot to prove. With the bare-bones Wii U version featuring a few small modes, literally one stage, and super overpowered techniques that took away from the otherwise fluid gameplay, it put me in the difficult spot of not recommending this game in my video review. There will be a link to my review of Mario Tennis Ultra Smash above if you'd like to check that out, as my approach will be prefaced from my experience with that game. But we know that the Switch is much more successful, and it's time to discover if Mario Tennis Aces can get into the big league. Ultra Smash may have stumbled, but Mario Tennis Aces gives the series a leg to stand on and offers the most refined and seamless gameplay in the series to date. But it misses some major points with an underdeveloped single-player mode and insignificant customization options. Don't get me wrong, Aces looks colorful, and the appealing graphics retain the quality with a polishing level at which Nintendo is already known for. The movements are fluid and well animated, with a level of technical performance that always runs at 1080p, 60 frames per second. The game immediately marks its first point, thanks to the adventure mode that allows you to play alone, discover the basics of gameplay at your own pace, and enjoy an organic environment. Of course, there is a story mode, something that's been missing since the Game Boy Advance game, which itself is a huge missed opportunity, but I'll get to that in a moment. Nintendo has learned a lot from the Wii U outing and has made many aesthetic changes which overall improve the look of Mario Tennis Aces. All of the character models have gotten a massive makeover with tennis attire and brings out their individual characteristics. Character-specific special moves make a comeback, and Nintendo Switch brings out the visual flair when you smash the ball. Not to mention the ball physics is the best to date in the series. While Ultra Smash gave you one stage to play on, Aces redeems itself with many well-crafted and dynamic courts with their own organic interactive gimmicks. One of my favorite stages is the one where you're on a ship and the airships from Mario 3 are flying all around the stage, all with a background of an ocean scenery. It's really beautiful. The adventure mode really allows to better appreciate the graphics of the game. Detailed animations, bright colors, polished modeling, and a frame rate at 60 frames per second accompany the stress-inducing and very tactical gameplay. Mario Tennis Aces, like the many iterations before it, plays nearly identical to each other with minor changes that affect how it flows together. For the uninformed, hitting the ball with your racket is performed by pressing one or both of the four main buttons, A, B, X, or Y, which makes the ball spin in different ways. Pressing A button twice strikes the tennis shot with more power and spin. Additionally, pressing the two buttons in a different order can result in a different type of shot altogether, such as a lob or drop shot. And the longer A button is pressed before contact is made with the ball, the stronger the shot will be. Along with the standard shots top spin, lobs, and slices, a few moves return and some new mechanics make a welcoming appearance. Each player now has an energy gauge that can be filled by performing charged up strokes or trick shots. How the energy is burned all depends on the type of special moves the player uses. The slow motion zone speed ability allows you to slow down time to dash to the ball and keep it in play, while the special shot puts you in a first-person perspective to completely annihilate your opponent with a devastating blow. I found that spamming charge shots to build meter and then bending the fabric of time and space for your character to temporarily ascend their mortal shell was a nice mechanic to include. A creative approach to shattering tennis rackets was implemented into the game, and if destroyed, can immediately end the game by knockout. I personally use this method often, as the AI is just... I'll get to that in a moment. I like the premise of the story, which is that Wario and Waluigi have been brainwashed by the ancient racket powered by the Infinity Stones. With Luigi succumbing to the racket, Mario and co must go to parts of the world to gather said stones to free them. I can't help but feel underwhelmed by the missed opportunity here. In the Game Boy Advance version, you have non-Mario characters that go through a tennis boot camp of sorts and eventually fight the famous Mario characters in a tournament. Imagine if they used the original characters they had to save the rest of the Mario characters from the clutches of an evil Thanos racket. The story just ends up pulling the same Mario tropes. Travel to themed islands and gather the stones from these surprisingly well-crafted bosses and save the day. I believe it's literally a glorified tutorial mode, and it shows. It took me multiple matches to finally get the feeling of using the special abilities, and it wasn't because my lack of ability. The blatant difficulty spikes are to blame here. Challenges, as they're appropriately called, have you complete a task with very specific rules, which are really difficult later in the campaign, since the AI just knows exactly what you're going to do before you even do it, and adding insult to injury, there is no retry button. All you can do is just sit there, raging, while you have dialogue that just rubs in the defeat.
Oh, I finally did it! After what seemed like an eternity of absolute torture, I beat that piece of crap blooper. Oh, I feel so good! Oh, I can move on with my review. Oh, I hate this game so much.
It's quite damaging to my pride. There's also a slight progression system that's exclusive to Adventure Mode, which gives you experience after every match. However, if you level up too quickly, you'll become super powerful, which leads to your shot being out often. The game modes are quite numerous. Since you can participate in tournaments online or against the computer, play locally on 2 consoles, play locally up to 4 players on the same console, play online with friends, which was impossible on Ultra Smash. There is an extra mode called Dynamic Mode, which is supposed to make you feel the sensations of Wii Sports by detaching the Joy-Cons from the console. Unfortunately, the general lack of precision and the simplicity of the gameplay, I almost immediately quit this mode and never looked back. Another complaint to Mario Tennis Aces: the lack of basic options. It's impossible in the free game mode to play 3 set winning games or apply any other specific options. Oh, and speaking of bonkers decisions, the only way to unlock characters is through Nintendo-hosted online tourneys. It's a strange choice to keep players coming back, to be sure, but at least Nintendo decided to keep Waluigi in, and to my surprise, the online is robust with different modes, tournaments, and mostly lag-free. Mostly. However, you'll sometimes encounter players that will hold the ball while serving and literally just sit there until you move out of range. Then they'll quickly slice the ball for an easy point. Hopefully Nintendo will add a serve timer so it'll prevent this issue. Motoi Sakuraba is an experienced and talented composer that has worked with Nintendo for over 20 years. Composing the majority of the Mario Sports titles and many others like the Tales of series, Dark Souls, and Phantasy Star. The well-rounded compositions in Mario Tennis Aces are enjoyable and don't get repetitive after hearing them many times over, while in the Wii U game, the lack of music was a huge disappointment. Here, take a listen. Various and upbeat tunes really get that heart pumping when you're fighting tooth and nail during those tiebreaker moments. The sound effects, I feel, are the star of the show here. Nintendo looks to have done a lot of research into the sound design of the types of shots tennis players use. The backhand, backspin, drop shot, flat, forehand, ground stroke, half volley, lob, it's all here. And since they are easily distinguishable, you can use them as audio cues to react accordingly. The age-old question, should you play this game? Yes! This is both a redeeming game and a step in the right direction for the Mario Tennis faithful. There are a variety of small changes from your traditional Mario Tennis game, so most of those complaints I mentioned will strike a chord with only longtime fans of the franchise. Newcomers won't be too fazed, since all in all, these missing or different aspects don't make this game bad, it's just different, but still very fun. And that's how it should be. Fun. Fun for everyone. Thanks for watching my review for Mario Tennis Aces. Sorry I put this out so late, but I think it was worth it. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing, hitting that bell icon, and leave your thoughts below. We also have a Discord server and Patreon, so consider supporting us on those. Until then, sit back, relax, and game away.